Hello everyone. Want to boost your English fluency and sound more natural in real conversations? In this video, you'll practice 400 everyday sentences across 20 useful topics, from real conversations to practical situations. Speak with me out loud and build your confidence, your vocabulary, and your fluency, one sentence at a time. I usually wake up at 7 a.m. on weekdays. I usually wake up at 7 a.m. on weekdays. I brush my teeth before I have breakfast. I brush my teeth before I have breakfast. I take a quick shower every morning. I take a quick shower every morning. I make a cup of tea to start my day. I make a cup of tea to start my day. I check my emails before leaving the house. I check my emails before leaving the house. I walk to work unless it's raining. I walk to work unless it's raining. I eat lunch around midday. I eat lunch around midday. I take a short break after lunch. I take a short break after lunch. I finish work at 5 p.m. sharp. I finish work at 5 p.m. sharp. I like to relax with a book in the evening. I like to relax with a book in the evening. I sometimes go for a walk after dinner. I sometimes go for a walk after dinner. I prepare my clothes for the next day. I prepare my clothes for the next day. I scroll through my phone before bed. I scroll through my phone before bed. I set an alarm before going to sleep. I set an alarm before going to sleep. I tidy up the kitchen after dinner. I tidy up the kitchen after dinner. I feed my pet before I head out. I feed my pet before I head out. I stretch for 5 minutes every morning. I stretch for 5 minutes every morning. I write in my journal at night. I write in my journal at night. I drink a glass of water as soon as I wake up. I drink a glass of water as soon as I wake up. I try to be in bed by 10:30 p.m. I try to be in bed by 10:30 p.m. I need to buy some groceries today. I need to buy some groceries today. I always compare prices before buying something. I always compare prices before buying something. I'm trying to stick to a budget this month. I'm trying to stick to a budget this month. I paid for the meal with my debit card. I paid for the meal with my debit card. I got a discount because of the sale. I got a discount because of the sale. I returned the shirt because it didn't fit. I returned the shirt because it didn't fit. I saved a lot of money using coupons. I saved a lot of money using coupons. I asked the shop assistant for help. I asked the shop assistant for help. I looked at the receipt before leaving the shop. I looked at the receipt before leaving the shop. I don't usually buy things online. I don't usually buy things online. I prefer paying with cash. I prefer paying with cash. I spent too much on shoes last weekend. I spent too much on shoes last weekend. I like shopping at local markets. I like shopping at local markets. I found a great deal on a new laptop. I found a great deal on a new laptop. I forgot my wallet at home. I forgot my wallet at home. I need to withdraw some cash from the ATM. I need to withdraw some cash from the ATM. I'm saving up for a holiday. I'm saving up for a holiday. I split the bill with my friends. I split the bill with my friends. I checked my bank balance this morning. I checked my bank balance this morning. I always keep the receipt just in case. I always keep the receipt just in case. I usually arrive at the office by 9 a.m. I usually arrive at the office by 9 a.m. I check my schedule first thing in the morning. I check my schedule first thing in the morning. I had a meeting with my manager today. I had a meeting with my manager today. I answered all my emails before lunch. I answered all my emails before lunch. I'm working on a new project this week. I'm working on a new project this week. I had to meet a tight deadline. I had to meet a tight deadline. I joined a team meeting via Zoom. I joined a team meeting via Zoom. I updated the report before sending it. I updated the report before sending it. I organised my desk this afternoon. I organised my desk this afternoon. I took a short coffee break with colleagues. I took a short coffee break with colleagues. I helped a co-worker with their task. I helped a co-worker with their task. I made a presentation for the team. I made a presentation for the team. I attended a training session yesterday. I attended a training session yesterday. I printed the documents before the meeting. I printed the documents before the meeting. I booked a meeting room for tomorrow. I booked a meeting room for tomorrow. I submitted the form before the deadline. I submitted the form before the deadline. I had lunch at my desk. I had lunch at my desk. I stayed late to finish my work. I stayed late to finish my work. I got great feedback on my performance. I got great feedback on my performance. I cleared my inbox before leaving work. I cleared my inbox before leaving work. I have a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. I have a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. I caught a cold last weekend. I caught a cold last weekend. I drink plenty of water to stay healthy. I drink plenty of water to stay healthy. I take vitamins every morning. I take vitamins every morning. I go for regular checkups. I go for regular checkups. I stayed home because I wasn't feeling well. I stayed home because I wasn't feeling well. I took some medicine for my headache. I took some medicine for my headache. I've been trying to eat more vegetables. I've been trying to eat more vegetables. I go for a walk to stay active. I go for a walk to stay active. I had a fever last night. I had a fever last night. I'm allergic to peanuts. I'm allergic to peanuts. I visited the dentist for a checkup. I visited the dentist for a checkup. I got vaccinated last month. I got vaccinated last month. I went to the pharmacy after work. I went to the pharmacy after work. I do yoga to help with stress. I do yoga to help with stress. I have a sore throat today. I have a sore throat today. I'm trying to cut down on sugar. I'm trying to cut down on sugar. I'm recovering from the flu. I'm recovering from the flu. I take breaks to avoid eye strain. I take breaks to avoid eye strain. I haven't been sleeping well lately. I haven't been sleeping well lately. I had cereal and fruit for breakfast. I had cereal and fruit for breakfast. I made pasta with tomato sauce for dinner. I made pasta with tomato sauce for dinner. I ordered takeaway from my favourite restaurant. I ordered takeaway from my favourite restaurant. I love trying new recipes at home. I love trying new recipes at home. I had lunch at a small cafe. I had lunch at a small cafe. I prefer spicy food. I prefer spicy food. I'm trying to eat less junk food. I'm trying to eat less junk food. I usually cook dinner myself. I usually cook dinner myself. I had dessert even though I was full. I had dessert even though I was full. I drank a smoothie for breakfast. I drank a smoothie for breakfast. I tried sushi for the first time. I tried sushi for the first time. I like having tea with biscuits in the afternoon. I like having tea with biscuits in the afternoon. I asked for a vegetarian option. I asked for a vegetarian option. I booked a table for two at the bistro. I booked a table for two at the bistro. I enjoyed a full English breakfast. I enjoyed a full English breakfast. I packed a lunchbox for work. I packed a lunchbox for work. I skipped lunch because I was too busy. I skipped lunch because I was too busy. I shared a pizza with my friends. I shared a pizza with my friends. I tasted something I couldn't even pronounce. I tasted something I couldn't even pronounce. I left a tip for the waiter. I left a tip for the waiter. I booked a flight to Spain last night. I booked a flight to Spain last night. I packed my suitcase the night before my trip. I packed my suitcase the night before my trip. I checked into the hotel early. I checked into the hotel early. I visited all the famous landmarks. I visited all the famous landmarks. I took lots of photos on holiday. I took lots of photos on holiday. I lost my passport at the airport. I lost my passport at the airport. I tried the local food and loved it. I tried the local food and loved it. I rented a bike to explore the city. I rented a bike to explore the city. I went sightseeing all day. I went sightseeing all day. I asked for directions at the train station. I asked for directions at the train station. I bought souvenirs for my family. I bought souvenirs for my family. I travelled by bus through the countryside. I travelled by bus through the countryside. I booked my trip through a travel website. I booked my trip through a travel website. I forgot my charger at the hotel. I forgot my charger at the hotel. I took a boat tour around the island. I took a boat tour around the island. I met some friendly locals. I met some friendly locals. I stayed in a beautiful Airbnb. I stayed in a beautiful Airbnb. I went hiking in the mountains. I went hiking in the mountains. I overslept and nearly missed my flight. I overslept and nearly missed my flight. I can't wait to plan my next holiday. I can't wait to plan my next holiday. I vacuumed the living room this morning. I vacuumed the living room this morning. I did the laundry after breakfast. I did the laundry after breakfast. I cleaned the bathroom yesterday. I cleaned the bathroom yesterday. I washed the dishes after dinner. I washed the dishes after dinner. I dusted the shelves over the weekend. I dusted the shelves over the weekend. I ironed my clothes before going out. I ironed my clothes before going out. I watered the plants in the afternoon. I watered the plants in the afternoon. I made the bed before leaving the house. I made the bed before leaving the house. I took out the rubbish last night. I took out the rubbish last night. I mopped the kitchen floor. I mopped the kitchen floor. I organised my wardrobe. I organised my wardrobe. I wiped down the surfaces in the kitchen. I wiped down the surfaces in the kitchen. I changed the bed sheets yesterday. I changed the bed sheets yesterday. I cleaned the windows with a spray. I cleaned the windows with a spray. I folded the clothes after drying them. I folded the clothes after drying them. I swept the hallway quickly. I swept the hallway quickly. I tidied up the living room. I tidied up the living room. I scrubbed the shower tiles. I scrubbed the shower tiles. I cleaned out the fridge. I cleaned out the fridge. I fixed the loose cupboard door. I fixed the loose cupboard door. I'm meeting a friend for coffee tomorrow. I'm meeting a friend for coffee tomorrow. I made a reservation at our favourite place. I made a reservation at our favourite place. I'm planning a surprise party. I'm planning a surprise party. I suggested going to the cinema this weekend. I suggested going to the cinema this weekend. I checked the weather before making plans. I checked the weather before making plans. I asked if they were free on Saturday. I asked if they were free on Saturday. I booked tickets to a concert. I booked tickets to a concert. I made a to-do list for the day. I made a to-do list for the day. I arranged a family gathering. I arranged a family gathering. I penciled it into my calendar. I penciled it into my calendar. I called to confirm the appointment. I called to confirm the appointment. I'm going to the museum on Sunday. I'm going to the museum on Sunday. I organised a game night at my house. I organised a game night at my house. I planned a picnic in the park. I planned a picnic in the park. I cancelled the plans last minute. I cancelled the plans last minute. I rearranged the meeting for next week. I rearranged the meeting for next week. I picked a time that worked for everyone. I picked a time that worked for everyone. I texted them the details. I texted them the details. I made sure to include everyone. I made sure to include everyone. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I think this movie is overrated. I think this movie is overrated. I believe learning English is important. I believe learning English is important. I feel that the rules should be fair. I feel that the rules should be fair. I personally prefer tea over coffee. I personally prefer tea over coffee. I don't agree with that decision. I don't agree with that decision. I think it's worth trying. I think it's worth trying. I would say it's a good idea. I would say it's a good idea. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary. I believe we should wait. I believe we should wait. I feel strongly about this issue. I feel strongly about this issue. I suppose you're right. I suppose you're right. I agree to some extent. I agree to some extent. I'm not sure that will work. I'm not sure that will work. I'd say it's quite useful. I'd say it's quite useful. I find that really interesting. I find that really interesting. I can't say I'm a fan of it. I can't say I'm a fan of it. I think everyone should try it once. I think everyone should try it once. I believe communication is key. I believe communication is key. I feel like we're making progress. I feel like we're making progress. I think we should move on. I think we should move on. I feel happy when I'm with friends. I feel happy when I'm with friends. I was nervous before the interview. I was nervous before the interview. I get frustrated when I can't understand something. I get frustrated when I can't understand something. I felt proud of my achievement. I felt proud of my achievement. I'm excited about the trip. I'm excited about the trip. I sometimes feel overwhelmed. I sometimes feel overwhelmed. I was embarrassed about the mistake. I was embarrassed about the mistake. I'm grateful for everything I have. I'm grateful for everything I have. I felt lonely during the holidays. I felt lonely during the holidays. I'm worried about the results. I'm worried about the results. I was angry about what happened. I was angry about what happened. I feel relaxed after meditating. I feel relaxed after meditating. I was shocked by the news. I was shocked by the news. I'm feeling hopeful today. I'm feeling hopeful today. I got emotional during the film. I got emotional during the film. I feel motivated to work harder. I feel motivated to work harder. I felt inspired by the speaker. I felt inspired by the speaker. I get anxious before speaking in public. I get anxious before speaking in public. I'm content with my progress. I'm content with my progress. I was deeply touched by the message. I was deeply touched by the message. I answered the phone on the second ring. I answered the phone on the second ring. I called my friend to check in. I called my friend to check in. I missed a call while I was out. I missed a call while I was out. I left a voicemail after the beep. I left a voicemail after the beep. I sent a quick text instead of calling. I sent a quick text instead of calling. I put my phone on silent during the meeting. I put my phone on silent during the meeting. I asked if it was a good time to talk. I asked if it was a good time to talk. I spoke to customer service this morning. I spoke to customer service this morning. I hung up after getting no answer. I hung up after getting no answer. I called back later in the day. I called back later in the day. I added them to my contacts. I added them to my contacts. I turned on the speakerphone. I turned on the speakerphone. I charged my phone before heading out. I charged my phone before heading out. I used headphones for the call. I used headphones for the call. I asked for the address over the phone. I asked for the address over the phone. I chatted with my mum for an hour. I chatted with my mum for an hour. I received an important call at lunch. I received an important call at lunch. I called the restaurant to book a table. I called the restaurant to book a table. I checked my missed calls. I checked my missed calls. I had a video call with my team. I had a video call with my team. I posted a photo on Instagram. I posted a photo on Instagram. I updated my profile picture. I updated my profile picture. I followed a few new accounts. I followed a few new accounts. I liked a funny video. I liked a funny video. I shared the link with my friends. I shared the link with my friends. I left a comment on their post. I left a comment on their post. I checked my notifications. I checked my notifications. I sent a direct message. I sent a direct message. I uploaded a story. I uploaded a story. I deleted an old post. I deleted an old post. I changed my privacy settings. I changed my privacy settings. I saved a recipe I found online. I saved a recipe I found online. I installed a new app. I installed a new app. I charged my tablet before bed. I charged my tablet before bed. I used my phone to pay. I used my phone to pay. I joined a live stream. I joined a live stream. I watched a tutorial on YouTube. I watched a tutorial on YouTube. I turned off my phone for a break. I turned off my phone for a break. I googled the answer quickly. I googled the answer quickly. I subscribed to a new podcast. I subscribed to a new podcast. I brought an umbrella because it looked like rain. I brought an umbrella because it looked like rain. I love the sound of rain on the roof. I love the sound of rain on the roof. I wore a jacket because it was chilly. I wore a jacket because it was chilly. I went for a walk in the sunshine. I went for a walk in the sunshine. I stayed indoors during the storm. I stayed indoors during the storm. I enjoy the crisp air in autumn. I enjoy the crisp air in autumn. I planted flowers in spring. I planted flowers in spring. I went to the beach on a hot day. I went to the beach on a hot day. I checked the weather forecast. I checked the weather forecast. I watched the snow fall outside. I watched the snow fall outside. I like drinking hot chocolate in winter. I like drinking hot chocolate in winter. I opened the windows to let in a breeze. I opened the windows to let in a breeze. I wore sunglasses because it was bright. I wore sunglasses because it was bright. I put on sunscreen before going out. I put on sunscreen before going out. I walked through the fog this morning. I walked through the fog this morning. I love how the trees change colour in autumn. I love how the trees change colour in autumn. I stayed under the shade in the heat. I stayed under the shade in the heat. I heard thunder in the distance. I heard thunder in the distance. I saw lightning strike nearby. I saw lightning strike nearby. I took photos of the sunset. I took photos of the sunset. I took the bus to work this morning. I took the bus to work this morning. I missed the train by 2 minutes. I missed the train by 2 minutes. I hailed a taxi in the city centre. I hailed a taxi in the city centre. I rode my bike to the park. I rode my bike to the park. I walked because it was close by. I walked because it was close by. I asked someone for directions. I asked someone for directions. I followed the map on my phone. I followed the map on my phone. I got stuck in traffic for an hour. I got stuck in traffic for an hour. I took the wrong turn at the roundabout. I took the wrong turn at the roundabout. I waited at the bus stop in the rain. I waited at the bus stop in the rain. I caught the last train home. I caught the last train home. I used the GPS to find the place. I used the GPS to find the place. I parked my car in a side street. I parked my car in a side street. I was confused by the road signs. I was confused by the road signs. I arrived 5 minutes early. I arrived 5 minutes early. I gave someone a lift to the station. I gave someone a lift to the station. I bought a return ticket. I bought a return ticket. I boarded the plane at gate 14. I boarded the plane at gate 14. I heard the announcement for my platform. I heard the announcement for my platform. I travelled by tram in the city. I travelled by tram in the city. I visited my grandparents last weekend. I visited my grandparents last weekend. I studied French in secondary school. I studied French in secondary school. I worked part-time while I was at university. I worked part-time while I was at university. I lived in a small village when I was young. I lived in a small village when I was young. I used to play football every day. I used to play football every day. I travelled to 5 countries last year. I travelled to 5 countries last year. I lost my keys and couldn't get inside. I lost my keys and couldn't get inside. I made a big mistake and learnt from it. I made a big mistake and learnt from it. I forgot to bring my homework once. I forgot to bring my homework once. I had a dog when I was a child. I had a dog when I was a child. I once stayed up all night. I once stayed up all night. I missed an important meeting once. I missed an important meeting once. I met him at a birthday party. I met him at a birthday party. I failed my first driving test. I failed my first driving test. I baked a cake for my mum's birthday. I baked a cake for my mum's birthday. I got really sunburnt on holiday. I got really sunburnt on holiday. I broke my phone last month. I broke my phone last month. I watched that film ages ago. I watched that film ages ago. I lost contact with an old friend. I lost contact with an old friend. I changed jobs 3 years ago. I changed jobs 3 years ago. He's always full of energy. He's always full of energy. She has a very kind personality. She has a very kind personality. He's really good at solving problems. He's really good at solving problems. She's always willing to help. She's always willing to help. He's tall and wears glasses. He's tall and wears glasses. She has curly hair and a warm smile. She has curly hair and a warm smile. He's very quiet around strangers. He's very quiet around strangers. She's known for being reliable. She's known for being reliable. He's got a great sense of humour. He's got a great sense of humour. She's really confident when speaking. She's really confident when speaking. He's a bit shy but very clever. He's a bit shy but very clever. She's outgoing and friendly. She's outgoing and friendly. He's passionate about music. He's passionate about music. She's incredibly hard-working. She's incredibly hard-working. He's not afraid to speak his mind. He's not afraid to speak his mind. She's good with children. She's good with children. He's always calm under pressure. He's always calm under pressure. She's very organised and punctual. She's very organised and punctual. He's fun to be around. He's fun to be around. She's someone you can count on. She's someone you can count on. The park is peaceful and full of trees. The park is peaceful and full of trees. The cafe has a cosy atmosphere. The cafe has a cosy atmosphere. The museum was packed with visitors. The museum was packed with visitors. The beach was clean and quiet. The beach was clean and quiet. The hotel room was bright and modern. The hotel room was bright and modern. The restaurant was beautifully decorated. The restaurant was beautifully decorated. The town is small but charming. The town is small but charming. The market was noisy and colourful. The market was noisy and colourful. The village is surrounded by hills. The village is surrounded by hills. The city is full of life. The city is full of life. The library was silent and well lit. The library was silent and well lit. The view from the top was breathtaking. The view from the top was breathtaking. The shop was crowded during the sale. The shop was crowded during the sale. The garden was full of flowers. The garden was full of flowers. The building looked old but strong. The building looked old but strong. The streets were narrow and winding. The streets were narrow and winding. The classroom was neat and tidy. The classroom was neat and tidy. The lake was calm and still. The lake was calm and still. The airport was busy but well organized. The airport was busy but well organized. The cinema had very comfortable seats. The cinema had very comfortable seats. I usually start work at 9 o'clock. I usually start work at 9 o'clock. I set reminders on my phone. I set reminders on my phone. I was 5 minutes late to the meeting. I was 5 minutes late to the meeting. I schedule my day in advance. I schedule my day in advance. I make time for exercise every day. I make time for exercise every day. I always check the time before I leave. I always check the time before I leave. I plan my week every Sunday. I plan my week every Sunday. I booked the appointment for 3 p.m. I booked the appointment for 3 p.m. I keep a calendar on my wall. I keep a calendar on my wall. I arrived just in time. I arrived just in time. I ran out of time to finish. I ran out of time to finish. I take regular breaks during the day. I take regular breaks during the day. I was early for once. I was early for once. I try to stay on schedule. I try to stay on schedule. I work better with a routine. I work better with a routine. I missed the deadline by a few minutes. I missed the deadline by a few minutes. I only had 10 minutes to get ready. I only had 10 minutes to get ready. I postponed the meeting until Friday. I postponed the meeting until Friday. I spend most of my time studying. I spend most of my time studying. I blocked out an hour for it. I blocked out an hour for it. I think you should get some rest. I think you should get some rest. You might want to talk to someone. You might want to talk to someone. It's best to stay calm. It's best to stay calm. Try not to worry too much. Try not to worry too much. I'd suggest writing it down. I'd suggest writing it down. Maybe take a short walk to clear your mind. Maybe take a short walk to clear your mind. You should drink more water. You should drink more water. Why don't you give it another try? Why don't you give it another try? I'd recommend starting early. I'd recommend starting early. It helps to take breaks. It helps to take breaks. You could try something new. You could try something new. Don't forget to listen carefully. Don't forget to listen carefully. Just do your best. Just do your best. I think it's worth the effort. I think it's worth the effort. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Make sure to get enough sleep. Make sure to get enough sleep. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Ask for help if you need it. Ask for help if you need it. Stay focused on your goals. Stay focused on your goals. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Could you help me with this? Could you help me with this? Would you mind closing the window? Would you mind closing the window? Can I borrow your pen for a moment? Can I borrow your pen for a moment? May I use your phone charger? May I use your phone charger? Can you give me a hand with this bag? Can you give me a hand with this bag? Do you mind if I sit here? Do you mind if I sit here? Would it be okay to call you later? Would it be okay to call you later? Can you pass me the salt? Can you pass me the salt? Could I see that for a second? Could I see that for a second? Would you mind waiting a minute? Would you mind waiting a minute? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Could you explain that again, please? Could you explain that again, please? Can I come with you? Can I come with you? Would you mind helping me carry this? Would you mind helping me carry this? Can you show me how to do it? Can you show me how to do it? May I leave a bit early today? May I leave a bit early today? Would it be all right to join in? Would it be all right to join in? Can I turn on the fan? Can I turn on the fan? Could you repeat that, please? Could you repeat that, please? May I take a look? May I take a look?